Welcome to Gems Creatives. In this channel, we dive into general knowledge and fascinating facts, global events and untold history, hilarious moments that'll make your day, emerging technologies shaping the future, luxury products and experiences, company overviews and industry insights. Join our community and hit subscribe button for weekly uploads. Let's jump into the video. The origin, causes, transmission, spread and consequences of the Black Death.
Imagine a world gripped by an unseen terror, a plague so devastating it wiped out nearly half of humanity, leaving fear, death and desolation in its wake. This is the story of the Black Death, which is a cataclysmic event that reshaped history forever. The Rats Plague. The Rats Plague commonly refers to the spread of the Black Death in the 14th century, where rats played a major role as carriers of fleas that transmitted the deadly bacterium Yersinia pestis to humans. How was it caused? Plague is a dreaded infectious disease caused by a bacterium that is carried and spread by parasitic fleas found on rodents, especially the brown rat. These tiny pests were unwitting carriers of death, transmitting the deadly bacillus to humans as they fed on their blood. Why it named Black Death. Bubonic plague, the most common form during the 14th century outbreak, was named for the agonizing swellings it caused in the lymph nodes of the groin and armpits. These swells would turn a hideous black color, thus earning the epidemic its ominous name, the Black Death. Affected individuals also suffered from raging fevers, joint pain, and the appearance of black sores covering their bodies, evidence of internal bleeding caused by the disease. The spread and timeline of the plague from 1346 to 1353. The Black Death likely began in Central Asia in 1346, possibly in the steppes of Mongolia. It spread Europe and North Africa via trade routes, especially the Silk Road. In October 1347 the plague entered Europe by Genoese ships fleeing Kaffa arrived in Sicily and carrying infected rats and fleas. The fleas would bite humans after their rat hosts died. The spread of plague into Europe 1348 to 1351. In 1348 the plague spread rapidly through Italy, France, Spain and England. Rats infested urban areas, and overcrowded unsanitary cities accelerated the spread. In 1349 reached Germany, Switzerland and Scandinavia. From 1350 to 1351 the plague expanded to Russia and Eastern Europe. In 1353 the first and most deadly wave of the plague began to decrease. Transmission vectors of rats plague. The transmission of plague was oriental rat fleas. These fleas became infected by feeding on rodents carrying Yersinia pestis. Once infected, the bacteria blocked the flea's digestive tract, causing it to regurgitate infected blood into the host during subsequent feedings, thereby transmitting the disease. The second transmission, black rats served as primary hosts for the infected fleas. Their close proximity to human settlements facilitated the spread of the plague. When infected rats died, fleas sought new hosts, including humans, thus propagating the disease. The third plague transmission was from human-to-human transmission. In cases of pneumonic plague, the disease could spread directly between humans through respiratory droplets. This form of transmission was particularly deadly and contributed to the rapid spread in densely populated areas. Consequences of the rat plague in the Middle Ages. The first consequences was massive population loss. The Black Death killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people in Europe, about half of world population in 14th century. In some areas entire of medieval Europeans' villages totally disappeared. The second consequences was social disruption. This plague caused different consequences in the Middle Age. Those are fear, rapid panic spread, and death of whole family, sick of relatives, spread of violence and persecution. Third, economic collapse in Europe. The Black Death caused an economic collapse such as shortages of manpower, led to increment of wages, damages of farms, failing of business, decrease of trading activity and other economic consequences. The fourth, the plague leads to decline of feudalism. The peasants gained bargaining power with fewer workers and many serfs left manors in search of better wages. This weakened the feudal system and shifted power toward the working class. Religious impact of Black Death. Many of the people believed that plague was divine punishment. This belief led to loss of faith in the church grew when prayers failed to stop the plague. The plague led to medical realizations. The medicine in the Middle Age failed to explain or cure the disease. These led to birth of public health systems. It helps modern scientists prepare for diseases like COVID-19, Ebola, and others. Black Death became foundation of scientific legacy. The first scientific legacy was foundations of epidemiology. The plague prompted early thinking about disease transmission and population health. Observations of disease patterns set a precedent for using quarantine and isolation to control disease spread. The second legacy was identification of Yersinia pestis. In 1894, Alexander Yersinia discovered the plague bacterium Yersinia pestis and linked it to rats and fleas. This breakthrough proved that microorganisms cause disease, supporting germ theory, which became central to modern medicine.